If you ever plan to go to West, take the highway, that's the byway, that's the best. Get your kicks on Route 66.
It winds from Chicago to LA, more than 2,000 miles on the way. Get your kicks on Route 66.
Fantastic. Welcome everybody. Good afternoon. Welcome to the celebration of life for Janice West. Now many of you I know, and some of you I'm meeting for the first time. Let me introduce myself. I'm Lance Burton. I'm a longtime friend of Janice and Fielding's. Thank you. We have people here today from the magic world, from the dance world, from the Hard Rock Hotel world, and some other areas perhaps. And some of us are meeting for the first time. So let me just say this at the beginning. Some of you maybe are not in show business. You may be civilians. And you may be used to going to memorial services where everything is very somber and very quiet, and there's organ music playing.
But not here!
That's right. Amen, Brother Tom. Let me just say this. Janice would have hated that. Hated that. If she were here, she would say, listen, if you guys are going to cry and whine and moan and play that organ music, you go ahead, but I'm not coming. On the other hand, if you want to get all my friends, family together and hear some music, a little rock and roll, little show tunes, you want to tell some stories, you want to have a laugh or two, count me in. And that's why we're here today. So what I'm saying to you is don't be afraid. If you feel like applauding, applaud. If you feel like laughing, laugh. So we have several speakers that are going to come up here and talk a little bit about Janice. And then we're going to open up the floor to anybody else that wants to come up, tell a story, tell your remembrance, share anything at all. And so if you feel like you want to do that, start thinking about what you want to say. And we'll get to that a little later. Before we start any of the speakers, though, I just want to point out a few things. If you haven't seen the quilt over here, I want to point this out to you because we all go to shows and concerts and fundraisers, and we get t-shirts, and then we take them home, and maybe we wear them once, and then we throw them in a box or the closet. This is a fantastic idea. Fielding's dear friend Keith West and his girlfriend Kitty came to Vegas and gathered up all of these t-shirts, which were Janice's t-shirts, of all different gamuts of her life, from concerts that she saw to shows, and they took them back to Iowa, and Kitty cut out the logos and the little things and hand sewed and made this beautiful blanket, which is a quilt work of Janice's life, and it's very interesting and it's beautiful. So if you haven't seen it, go over there and check that out. And incidentally, in sort of the right side there, near the bottom, there is a t-shirt that says Nevada SPCA on it. And that was the bowling tournament. Janice was on my bowling team at the Nevada SPCA bowling tournament. That's her shirt. And coincidentally, I point that out to you because Fielding has requested if anyone wants to make any sort of gesture of their love for Janice, that in lieu of flowers, to make donations to her favorite charity, which was the Nevada SPCA. You can do that online or in person. Some of the people, for instance, Keith and Kitty, could not get here today because of flight schedules that made that blanket. We hope they are watching on Facebook Live. We have a phone right here in the front row. There's a lot of friends all around the world that would love to be here. So we welcome all of them that they could be part of the festivities. I mentioned Nevada SPCA. I mentioned Facebook.
Talk about the art.
The urn, yes, get to that right now. The urn over here, we want to recognize our dear friend Lupe Nielsen. Who's not only a very talented musician, but an unbelievable woodworker, and she made this urn, and it is just a beautiful work of art, and I invite you to go look at that after the proceedings. Especially notice it's made out of 2 different kinds of wood, and the cover of it, I think it was done with a laser. There's a photo of Janice, and it's just gorgeous. So thank you, Lupe. I know she's here with her husband Norm. Thank you, Lupe. Great job. Oh yes. Speaking of the flowers, that's what I wanted. I wanted to also recognize that some folks did send flowers. The starting over here on stage right. This is from John, Nolan, Sachs, and Tori. Sent that beautiful arrangement. From Jacksonville, Florida. This floral arrangement next to the urn is from the IBM Ring 130 in Jacksonville, Florida. And this display right up here next to the stairs, the note on this says, "Sending all of our love and thoughts to the family and friends of a remarkable woman. With love, her Hard Rock Hotel Casino family." That's from the Hard Rock. So we also, I want to mention, you all got one of these programs, and I would like to thank Miss Get for putting this together. Thank you, Miss Get. It's beautiful. Miss Get is not only one of the world's great choreographers, but also has a great eye for design and layout. It looks gorgeous. And I particularly want to draw your attention to the cover photo of Janice. This is the same photo that is laser engraved on the urn. Look at the photo. You've got a program. Look at it. This is my favorite photo of Janice ever, ever, ever. You look at this photo, she is laughing. You can see, captured in one moment, Janice's kindness and humor and goodness, and it's just my favorite photo. And now I'm going to tell you the story of this photo, because many of you have seen this photo before, but you don't remember it. You originally saw this photo about 15 years ago because this was the cover of Fielding and Janice's Christmas card. And I'll refresh your memory. Now this photo has been altered. It's been cropped, and Miss Get has put this beautiful background with Photoshop. But in the original photo, you have Janice here. Behind her is a Christmas tree. Santa Claus is over here, and Fielding is right here. And I'll tell you the story of how this photo happened. As I was talking to Fielding about it just this morning, they were at the mall, Christmas time, and there's Santa Claus and the elves and the photographer. And you pay $10 and you get your picture made with Santa. And they decided, wait a minute, here we go. Let's get a photo made. We'll use this for our Christmas card. So they get in line, they pay the $10, they walk up, they're waiting in line. The kid right in front of them goes up to get his picture made. It was a little boy. He was wearing a red shirt and white underwear. And that was it. No pants, no socks, red shirt, white underwear. Kid at the mall, running around. He goes up, he sits on Santa's lap, he gets his picture made. Now it's Fielding and Janice's turn. They walk up, and as they get up to the front, in a loud voice, Fielding says, "Now what's the deal here? Am I supposed to sit on Santa's lap? Is that how it works?" And the people around all laugh. And Santa Claus says, "No, I don't think that would work, young fella." And Janice says, "Well, now, am I supposed to sit on Santa's lap?" And Santa says, "Yeah, we could probably make that work." So Janice sits on Santa's lap, Fielding standing next to him, and Fielding looks over to Janice and says, "You know, now be careful there, honey. You saw that kid. I don't know if he had clean underwear on. It was on the headrest. And Santa looks over Fielding and whispers, you know, that happens all the time. And then Fielding says, well, if you like that last kid, you're going to love this. He unbuckles his pants, he drops trowel. He's standing there with his underwear showing, puts his hands on his hips. Janice looks over and sees what he's doing. She starts laughing, and Fielding says, take the photo. And that's how that photo happened. And that, to me, is a microcosm of Fielding and Janice's love for each other. All the years that they were together, the one unifying thing that always was there was the love and the humor and the laughter. And to me, that just sums it all up, all in that one shot. So, you know, you could travel the world over. You could start today and walk all the way around the world. You'd be hard-pressed to find someone as nice and as beautiful and as lovely and as kind as Janice. I love Janice, and I know you did too, and that's why you're here today. So, thanks for being here. So coming up first, we have a young lady who was Janice's line captain when she first came to Las Vegas in the mid to late 80s and was at the Aladdin Hotel at the Abracadabra show. Folks, Sandy Ross is in the house. Sandy, come on up.
Hello. Hi. So I'm sitting here and I'm looking around the room and I feel so blessed to be surrounded by so many friends, and I'm part of Janice's life and her world of her dancer family. So this is a celebration of her life and a celebration of love and a celebration of us, her family, who 30 years later can still look and be happy to see each other's faces. And just feel blessed that we can go over and just give each other just one more hug. And I had that opportunity to see her just a few months ago, which was really fantastic to me and really important. But what made me think when I came in was, I mean, we wake up and we're dancers and we go to class and we take 5 classes a day and we're in New York and we're doing everything we can, and you show up and audition, you know, you're like, God, I hope I get this, I hope I get this gig. And you never realize how that one audition can change your whole entire life. And the show that I got to be her line captain in was that for her. It was Abracadabra, and it was one of my favorite shows in the world, and it's my family that's the closest to me even to this day. But that one day in her life not only brought her to a show that brought her a whole new family to this day, but it gave her the opportunity to meet her husband. And on their day off, sneak away up to Reno and get married. And come back as a bride and groom, which was so silly and crazy to me. And this many years later, and to the very last breath, of just that pure love just enabled everything that was in her. Her passion for our show, her passion for dancing, her passion to the man that she loved so deeply. She was the kindest, most beautiful spirit, and it was an honor and a pleasure to know her and to love her. Thank you.
Coming up next, we have longtime friend Janice and Fielding, and a longtime friend to a lot of us, Mistinget in the house. Open with a joke.
Okay, just so you know, today just happens to be National Laughter Day. And I think it's appropriate, and I think Janice would approve that this is a great occasion to laugh, and I think we all need to laugh, and I wish I could tell a joke. I have one joke. No, we're gonna do it, okay. Okay, so I'm sitting here thinking, what am I gonna say about Janice? There's not a lot that I had to do with Janice in the early day. I knew Fielding. Fielding was an amazing act that Greg Thompson, who was my producer for years and years, who would hire the best acts. And sorry for those that he didn't hire, you're still good too. But Fielding worked with us for years in different locations. And one of the things as a choreographer and as someone who's worked in the shows, you have an opportunity to know people for like 2-3 weeks. And then after that, you're gone because you've got other shows to do, the show's running, and this, back then, they would run for 2, 3, sometimes longer years. Now you're lucky if a show runs 6 months, you're thrilled. But back then, the show had to have longevity, and the longevity was always having good acts that were always 100% loyal, 100% on time, and could actually deliver every time. So I knew Fielding. So knowing Fielding in a professional sense is one thing, but knowing him, you know, just backstage, he would talk about his wife, and he would talk about her in such a loving way. And it was so refreshing to know that there are people that were on the road probably 40 weeks out of the year talking about how much they love their spouses who don't get to travel with them. And I always thought it was so amazing how someone could have a marriage and a relationship with somebody who was not with them all the time. So Janice to me was sort of this gorgeous, fabulous woman that he had back, you know, home, wherever he lived at that time. And he talked about her, and he bragged about her, and he said she was a dancer, she was a rockette, and I was always in awe of how great taste he had in having a woman who was also a dancer, you know, be in his life, and that was always so great. And he was never interested in any of the other dancers, which was always great because it kept everything just really cool. And I always appreciated that. So years and years and years go by, and we're great friends with them, and I get to see him here. I end up here in Vegas. I live less than a mile and a quarter from him. And he needs help with computers and things, and I need, and then I need someone to be in my little shows that I have here at Anthem and at Starbright. When I came to town, I was taking care of my mom. So I never actually met Janice until that time, and that was in 2013 maybe. And all of a sudden this legend, this woman that had everything to do with your life, I actually met her. And my first impression with her is that she came up, she opened up her arms, she grabbed me, she hugged me really tight. She had the most amazing hug. And I thought to myself, if I was going to say anything about her, that was the one thing that I remember about her, is that she had this amazing hug and always 2 kisses on both cheeks, and as if she's known you for her whole life. And I always thought that was the one thing I remembered about her the most. After she passed, my friend Fielding, who was, of course, really hurting and very sad, I knew I would go do anything to help him, so he asked me to come to his house and take care of her things. And that is an amazing honor, by the way, to ever have to do that. So coming to her house, and of course going through her things, I have found this woman is amazing. She loves Winnie the Pooh. There's Winnie the Pooh jewelry, there's Winnie the Pooh earrings, there's Winnie the Pooh t-shirts. I asked him, I said, what's up with this Winnie the Pooh thing? I said, you know, and he says, oh, she loved Winnie the Pooh. I said, that's really cool. And I see that Winnie the Pooh is on the actual shirt, the shirt blanket here, which is absolutely amazing. That was an amazing thing I found out about her, but also, just so you know, there were a lot of things of hers. She loved shoes. Shoes were like amazing for her. She didn't buy like 1 pair when she bought a shoe. She bought like 1 in every color. So the Assistants League, who I've worked with, Lance and Gabriella with, were so happy to come and actually gather these things that she had and then put them to good use. And so I want to do a shout out to Assistants League for coming and picking up probably 12 bags of clothes and shoes and things that we donated.
16.
16. And, but also the thing that was amazing about her is that you really get to know somebody when you go through their things, and you realize that she was a girly girl. She loved jewelry, she loved shoes, she loved color. I didn't find one thing in her closet in black. Not one thing in black, not one. Everything was in patterns, and it was interesting to me that she was a very happy person. And she went to work, she loved having her nails done, she loved her friends, and I'm sure there's going to be a lot of stories about her other than that, but those are the things I remember about her the most. And I know I'm droning on and on and on, but the best thing about her is that she was a dancer. That girl was a rockette. Those are the hardest working dancers I have ever seen in my life. They do that show one season out of the year, and she did them all. And one of the things that she would like to donate to all of you, anyone interested, is that there were t-shirts, sweatshirts, in every color, all colors, of the Rockettes. And I couldn't give those away. And I wanted to bring them today to you. And anybody would like to grab one on your way out, they're on a table in the back. Please stop by the table and take a little piece to Janice home with you. Okay? Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Giet. And now, folks, from the Hard Rock Hotel, this was Janice's manager, her supervisor for many, many years, and we are so happy that he is here today to share with us. Would you say hello to Sean Cummings from the Hard Rock?
Hello. It's my pleasure to speak on Janice's behalf from the Hard Rock family. Shout out to the Hard Rock family. Glad so many of you made it here today. Such an easy person to speak for because it's all from the heart, just like Janice. What a message I'd like to convey to everyone here in show business, all the colorful personalities in Hard Rock. When she went into the guest service business, she never left the stage. She never left the stage because every day was preparation. She kept this immaculate information board. And the only time I would ever see Janice frazzled is when she'd come back from a vacation or something, that board was changed. And I would go up to the ladies and they're like, we really worked hard to maintain this board. And I'm like, what's wrong with the board? And she's like, no, it's not right, it's not right. We all remember those great stories. She was indeed the voice of the Hard Rock, the consensus voice of the Hard Rock. And 2 years ago I spoke on her behalf for that great award, and I just wanted to convey the message that the t-shirt on the top right is a Hard Rock t-shirt, love all, serve all. She never took an interaction off. I mean, sometimes we just don't feel it. It's human nature to not feel her work. She never took a day off, she never took an interaction off. Really amazing woman, amazing work ethic. I would like to share, I'd like to capture a story about her wit that was passed along to me by a dear friend. Janice was just so kind-hearted. I don't think she could ever hurt anyone's feelings or make them feel unappreciated. But one time she was at a party, and she met a gentleman who found Janice, as we all did, quite engaging to speak with. And after tirelessly listening to the gentleman for a good while, Janice wasn't in a position, sometimes you're not in a position to walk away. So she played possum and acted like she was asleep. I think that was the best way. It's a great story, but just so generous. I mean, you talk about the music. As a fellow East Coaster, and I really appreciated the accent. I just told her I liked Sinatra. The next day there was a Sinatra CD on my desk. David Bowie. Sean, I know you're going to love this book about hospitality. It's one of the few books that I've finished. And it was immaculately written, property of Janice West in the top right corner of the book. Just a staple of who she was. And I just wanted to convey that, and towards the end, Janice never really gave anyone a sign that she was hurting. And no, I don't think anyone did. On some level she was, and a gentleman walked up to me who I had never met before and said, I just spoke to Janice, and she was just Janice. We had no sign, and that's just a sign of her strength and how unselfish she truly was. And to that, you know, Janice, we do love you, we miss you, your Hard Rock family will always remember you. So, thank you.
And we've been fast friends ever since. And Janice was such a light in his life. And I'm just so honored to have known her, and honored to wear her shirt, and happy that it fits my girls. Because, you know, she was petite. So
I still don't know what the color of her eyes are.
So if you know, if you're familiar with this song, please sing along. This we want to sing especially for our dear friend Fielding. And hopefully the band will work.
You got a friend in me. You got a friend in me. When the road looks rough ahead and you're miles and miles from your nice warm bed, just remember what your old pal said. Boy, you got a friend in me.
You got a friend in me. You got a friend in me. You got troubles, I got mine too. There isn't anything I wouldn't do for you. We stick together and get it through, 'cause babe, you got a friend in me. Yeah, you got a friend in me. Take it, Joe.
Some other folks might be a little smarter than I am.
Maybe stronger too.
Yeah, maybe. But none of them will ever love you the way I do.
It's me and you, babe.
And as the years go by,
Our love will always be the best.
you're gonna see it's our destiny. You've got a friend in me.
Yeah, you got a friend in me.
That's right. You got a friend in me.
And she would love to listen to music. She had her little speaker out. Each day she came back from lunch, Shar, what you want to hear? I'll put on some R&B for you. So she would put on some R&B. And this last day I worked with her, we would always talk about videos and things. Well, she had Eddie Murphy Delirious all ready to start with the barbecue. But we both knew every word to it. We were laughing, so we were crying. Carrying on, carrying on. And I told Monica, the other operator, she said, you guys were too much. She said, I just love the laughter. But that's the last day I worked with her. And come to find out, she mentioned to one of our other operators that she will always remember that day was the best day and the funniest day her and I had ever worked together. And Monica that worked with us also, she said she'll always remember that's the happiest day. And we all love her so. We're just like a family there. We all worked together for years. And we miss her so dearly. Rest in peace, Janice.
Janice said hello to you, but Janice always called me Miss Patty. And I always thought, that's so sweet, that's so Southern, and you're from New England, you're from New York, you know, like, why do you do that? Because she knew it meant something to me. And to take that a little bit further, we went to go see Tyler Hicks. Do you guys remember American Idol, Tyler Hicks? Yeah. We went to a lounge act and Tyler was performing, which was kind of exciting, but not really. But it was really exciting to Janice, which made it really exciting to me. We pull up at this hotel, and we open, the valet opens up the door, car door, and she says, "Hi, Joe. How you doing today? Thank you so much." And then we go to the door. Someone opens the door, and she goes, "Randy, thank you. Thank you for opening the door. I really appreciate that." And what's so sweet is, in my mind, I'm thinking that she knows Joe and Randy, okay? And then we go into the bar, and she says, "Bob, can I have a drink?" And I go, wow, Janice knows all these people. And how they responded to her was why I thought she knew them. She was so great at making you feel important, making you feel important, recognizing you as an individual. I don't know if all of us could inject a little bit of Janice into our soul and go out into the world and make everybody else feel a little more important than ourselves. Maybe we might make a difference. I know she did make a difference. And she also really liked Tyler Hicks. And I know that made a difference in his life. Thank you.
She liked Tyler Hicks. I wonder if she liked his brother, Taylor Hicks. I didn't know, they told me. Any other Taylor Hicks fans? Anybody else want to say something?
That's my sister, buddy.
Anybody want to do some ventriloquism? Sonia, you got your cards with you? Okay, anybody really seriously? Anybody else want to say something?
I'll say something.
Mike Hammer, ladies and gentlemen.
I should be on stage, but you guys recognize me? Okay. I put a suit on, Facebook Live's on, you know what I mean. Diamond's still here, you need to shoot anybody or what? What's he doing here? First of all, I wanted to say that it was Taylor Hicks, yeah, you're right. Are we on here? Ladies and gentlemen. I love Janice, first of all, and I wanted to say, is this echo, is this me? So, the most amazing thing I think is fielding could be hard to get along with at times. And I'd go over to the house and we'd be writing something, and she'd come in and ask if we wanted anything to eat, and it'd be late sometimes, and she had to be up really early in the morning, and we're loud, right? A little bit. And she'd always ask if she'd get a little bit. And she'd ask if she could make us anything, if we get anything. She'd actually run out to the store late and pick up things just so we could eat food. But what I think is so amazing about Janice that I think we could all learn from is, first of all, you said the nicest things about her ever. I mean, you've never said one bad word about her. And guys are pretty rude about their wives. I hear it all the time. But you were amazing. But the thing I think we could learn from Janice was she was clearly hurting inside. I mean, we know she had health problems. And you'd never know it. She would just, she gave everything she had of herself to make someone else feel good. And she never complained once. And I felt horrible. You know, we knew she was sick, and she would just be, you couldn't tell. I mean, I'd have a bad back, and you'd know it. I'm like, oh shit, my back is killing me. You know, we'd complain. Don's walking around with his cane trying to get sympathy here. But she was the nicest, sweetest person I've ever met in my entire life. And if you guys could picture yourselves, when you're sick, you don't want to talk to anybody. She would talk to anyone. And she'd come over, and she was just the most wonderful person I've ever met. Now, I'm sad now, actually, for you, Fielding, because you're not going to meet someone that great again. So, except for me, of course. But I love Janice. I think you guys all know that. Anyone I've met knows that about her. Come here, buddy. Oh, man. I'm sorry to make you feel bad.
Thanks for cheering me up.
And I'd like Ben and Jasmine to come up and sing a song.
Yeah, Jasmine!
I made that up right now. I didn't know. Thank you guys so much. I love you, Fielding. Seriously, Janice and Lance. And Ben and Jasmine should be singing, don't you think?
I'd love to see Ben and Jasmine sing.
Yeah, or at least start Tyler. At least
You know what Janice never told anybody anything was wrong? She wasn't a Jew. Never told a Jew. My ass, I got pain, my trainer killed me, I can't move. That's the reason your life, a shit's a market broad. Never said a free fucking thing. I love you all, thank you for being here. I love this man. I love you. That's the truth.
You're killing me.
Glam doesn't say, oi. You know what? The Jewish joke is anything all right?
We're in November, ladies and gentlemen.
And you and I love you.
She is.
Okay. I warned the civilians before we started. I gave you fair warning. Going back to Magic World now, a dear friend of mine in Fieldings and Janice for many years. Say hello to Rory Johnston, right here. Brother Rory.
This is for you, Fielding.
Thank you.
Grief can destroy you or focus you. You can decide a relationship was all for nothing if it had to end in death and you alone. Or you can realize that every moment of it had more meaning than you dared to recognize at the time. So much meaning it scared you. So you just lived. Just took for granted the love and laughter of each day and didn't allow yourself to consider the sacredness of it. But when it's over and you're alone, you begin to see it wasn't just a dinner and a movie together, not just watching sunsets together, not just scrubbing a floor or washing dishes or worrying over a high electric bill. It was everything. It was the why of life, every event, precious moment of it. The answer to the mystery of existence is the love that you share, sometimes so imperfectly, and when the loss wakes you to the deeper beauty of it, the sanctity of it, you can't get off your knees for a long time. You're driven to your knees, not by the weight of the loss, but by gratitude for what preceded the loss. And the ache is always there, but one day, not the emptiness. Because to nurture the emptiness, to take solace in it, is to disrespect the gift of life.
Folks, that's all the speakers that we've had scheduled, but we want to, I know Fielding would like to say hello for a second.
Hey, listen, Lance Burton's done a lot to help me with this today. He's one of the few speakers that Janice would have approved of. Rory Johnson, thank you so much for your kind words. Please. I'd like to get the gentle Yentl back up here to kind of top things up. Live in November, folks. Come on, was that a... Come on. Janice's favorite. There's a lot of people out here showing a lot of love today and a lot of respect for our family and for me and for her. And I just look across this room. I wasn't going to make this an emotional event, but How can you see this much love in one room and not feel emotional? I want to thank you all for coming here today. And I have something very special for all of you. Lance, am I forgetting to thank somebody?
No, I think just want to mention that
I want to mention my brother, what you're about to see. This is my brother Bob that's been down here. Bob West Video from Bakersfield, California. He's prepared a very special presentation of Janice's life, and I certainly hope you enjoy it. Thank you all very much for coming. I love you all very much.